Welcome to 4029 News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Allison Wise.
And I'm Brandon Evans. So tonight, a Crawford County man could get a new trial if the judge agrees with a motion by his defense team. We'll tell you why attorneys for Ethan Seipert say their client didn't get a fair shake.
Also tonight, students at UAFS are celebrating Lunar New Year. Why students say it's an important opportunity for the campus. And the University of Arkansas celebrates a longtime police captain. Watch as the campus community there honors the career of Gary Crane.
As we take a live look outside, we can't forget about the forecast. Hope you got outside this week because things take a turn tomorrow, right, Darby?
Absolutely. We've got rain on the way. Not here just yet, but we will show you when to expect it coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is 4029 News at 9 on the Arkansas CW.
We'll start with breaking news tonight. Arkansas's newly appointed parole board chair is stepping down from his post. Jamal Jones was accused of misconduct while he was a police officer. He was appointed to the parole board as a chair just 1 week ago. Now, his personnel file shows he was placed on administrative leave and ultimately fired 6 years ago in 2018. Our sister station in Little Rock obtained that file. Jones was fired after lying about a relationship with the 17-year-old. In a statement, he responded to that allegation saying, quote, "I did not break any laws. No charges were filed." Now, Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders says she's going to our country's southern border.
Yeah, in a news release, the governor's office says she and 14 other Republican governors will meet, set to happen in Eagle Pass, where they will get a briefing on efforts to secure the border. Now, the AP reports the governor will consider deploying National Guard members to the border again. This is Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the Biden administration feud over immigration enforcement.
Arkansas State Police are investigating a suspicious death in Lee County. An inmate at the East Arkansas Regional Unit died today. Authorities say 25-year-old Tevis Maxwell might have been strangled. He was being housed with another inmate in a two-man cell, and police are questioning that cellmate. Maxwell was serving a 25-year sentence for rape, commercial burglary, and 2 counts of robbery. He was sentenced out of Hempstead County in March 2019. Jury selections now complete ahead of the trial of a woman facing the death penalty.
Shauna Cash faces multiple charges, including capital murder. This in the 2021 death of Pea Ridge police officer Kevin Apple. Now, the jury is now set. There are 12 jurors, 3 alternates. Attorneys say it could be an emotional trial. Well, jurors could hear from witnesses who saw Officer Apple die and from the person who tried to save him. Opening statements set to begin Monday morning. Legal teams on both sides of a Crawford County murder case are ready to learn if they'll need to do it all over again. The defense team for Ethan Seipert asking for a new trial. They say the jury was tainted and one juror knew the victim's family. Now, Seipert's defense attorney says his client did not get a fair trial.
The defense motion claims other jurors knew the victim's family and had been to their home in the past.
Law is a mere possibility of prejudice. And I think it's very hard to say that that individual did not, he himself was not prejudiced. Not only that, but the potential to prejudice all the 11 other people with those statements.
The motion claims one juror also knew about previous plea deal negotiations. Now, the prosecutor says that the defense was unaware about some of the jurors. It's because they were not paying attention. All right, we've had a nice work week. It's been very warm the last few days, especially considering it's only the second day of February. Some of us even saw highs reach more than 70 degrees.
Yeah, 70's better than 17.
That's for sure. And things are going to change for us. So we've got Chief Meteorologist Darby Bybee standing by.
Yeah, that's the bad news. We got rain this weekend. Darby, when is the big bulk of it, I guess, supposed to arrive?
Well, mainly after midnight, though there could be a little bit of shower activity before that. This wouldn't be much. The bulk of it will come in as we go into early tomorrow morning. On satellite and radar, we're seeing a line of pretty nasty storms. A couple of these actually produced tornadoes just north of Abilene earlier today. Some wind damage as well. No warnings on them currently, though they did have warnings. That's moving our direction. By the time it gets to our area, it's not going to be severe anymore, folks. And maybe a rumble of thunder. That'd be the most of it. Temperatures in the 50s for the most part, though, hanging on to 60s in Fort Smith. As we go into tomorrow morning, here's that rain coming on in and gradually moving all the way through the area throughout the morning from 4 or 5 in the a.m. all the way through about 9 or 10. By that time, mid-morning, we're all seeing the rain, and it continues through noon. Late in the day, could see some break in the action in the River Valley, and then by late afternoon or evening, really, in northwest Arkansas, we could get a break. But we get more rain, Allison, as we go into Sunday. We're going to talk more about the rest of that weekend forecast coming up.
All right, now we'll take a live look from the Bakery District in Fort Smith. The UAFS campus community is celebrating the Lunar New Year, and festivities are wrapping up right now. But earlier tonight, it was the Vietnamese Student Association that hosted what they called a vibrant event. One organizer told us the celebrations are very family focused.
Yeah, student leaders say tonight's event was an opportunity for the UAFS community and the public to engage with and appreciate diverse Asian cultures in our area.
There is a large population of Vietnamese people in the community, as well as other Asian cultures that celebrate the Lunar New Year. Normally in the homeland they would be able to celebrate like all around them, but I would say in this area they usually celebrate only at home. So having a celebration here out in the open in the community is a great way for them to meet new people and then show off their culture to other people who may not know about it.
Well, several local organizations made donations so that tonight's event could happen. And today in Fayetteville, the University of Arkansas celebrated Silas Hunt.
The campus trailblazer was the first black man to be admitted into the Arkansas School of Law. Current law students highlighted the importance of marking the path that Hunt walked more than 75 years ago.
He really paved the way for a generation of African American law students to enter into these spaces that we have not always been invited in. So to me, it's important that we continue his legacy and thrive in these spaces.
Today's event was part of the university's Multicultural Center's packed Black History Month calendar. They have activities that continue next Wednesday night when the center hosts a vision board party called Empowering Our Dreams. For nearly half a century, he's helped ensure people from all over the country stay safe when they visit the University of Arkansas campus.
4029's Chip Scarborough is live in Fayetteville tonight where the face of UAPD is saying farewell. Chip.
Well, Brandon and Allison, Captain Gary Crane has certainly made many appearances here on 4029 News during his 45-year career at the University of Arkansas Police Department. And today, the law enforcement community gathered to celebrate his storied career. Captain Gary Crane got the royal treatment at his official retirement ceremony on Friday afternoon. And as he should, he's given 45 years of his life to the University of Arkansas's police department.
Back then, there were a lot of pranks and then there was some crime. Now they're just, a little bit more serious these days. However, police work is very rewarding. We get to help people.
Law enforcement colleagues from across the state attended the beloved officer's retirement celebration, even receiving recognition from Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders' office and the United States Secret Service, only adding to the memories he has here.
I was here for the 1994 National Championship, and of course we opened up Bud Walton Arena so that the fans could watch it on the big screen. And after that was done, the campus and Dixon Street were really a big crowds of people celebrating, and kept us up really late.
Most law enforcement careers span 25 or 30 years, so why 45 years for Captain Crane?
Once I went into the administration side of it, there's just a lot to do. There's a lot of improvements that could be made, kept my interest, and as technology increased, then taking advantage of that and adapting it for our work.
Captain Crane couldn't end his 45-year career without one last sign-off on his police radio.
I'm out of service.
And a special message on the other end of the line.
Thank you for your 45 years of dedicated service to the University of Arkansas Police Department and campus community.
And you may have noticed those palm trees on Captain Crane's shirt. That's a clue about what he's going to be doing next. He says he and his wife plan to spend more time at the beach and also plan to spend more time with their grandchildren. Live in Fayetteville tonight, Chip Scarborough, 4029 News.
The U.S. military launched dozens of airstrikes today in Iraq and Syria.
Yeah, the strikes come as retaliation for the deaths of 3 American troops killed in Jordan. We have more on that when we return. Plus, it's been a warm week, but that doesn't mean it's time to garden. Experts offer advice as green thumbs begin to twitch. We'll also have your 7-day forecast as we take a live look outside as a wet weekend awaits.
Officials say the U.S. military launched dozens of airstrikes today on sites in Iraq and Syria. The decision is in retaliation to the drone strike that killed 3 U.S. troops in Jordan last week. President Joe Biden and other top leaders warned for the days that the U.S. would strike back.
Yeah, the strike comes as the president and first lady join grieving families to honor those Americans killed in Jordan. ABC's Ika Jachi is in Washington now with the latest.
U.S. retaliatory airstrikes in Iraq and Syria tonight after Sunday's deadly drone attack on a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 3 Army reservists and wounded 41 others. U.S. Central Command says B-1 bomber strikes started this afternoon in Iraq and Syria, aimed at Iranian-backed militants. All this as President Biden, the First Lady, and top members of the military were at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware today for the dignified transfer of the bodies of those reservists who were killed in that drone strike. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, General C.Q. Brown, also witnessing the solemn return. Before the somber event began, the President and First Lady sharing a private moment with the families of the fallen American service members before the dignified transfer. The soldiers, all from Georgia, Sergeant William Rivers, Sergeant Breonna Moffett, and Sergeant Kennedy Sanders. Sanders and Moffett posthumously promoted to sergeant. The 3 service members' deaths are the first U.S. fatalities blamed on Iran-backed militia groups who for months have been ramping up their attacks on American forces in Iraq and Syria since mid-October. Earlier this week, the White House saying the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, an umbrella group of Iran-backed militias, had planned, resourced, and facilitated the deadly drone attack on Tower 22 in Jordan. Defense Secretary Austin also placing blame on Iran. Forensic evidence determining Iran made the drone fired by the militia group.
This particular attack was egregious in that the attack was on the sleeping area of one of our base.
Both the White House and the Pentagon have stressed that despite the retaliatory strikes against Iranian proxy groups, the U.S. does not want a wider war with Iran. Ike Ajachi, ABC News, Washington.
We turn to Michigan now. That's where the mother of a convicted school shooter took the stand today. Jennifer Crumbley, accused of involuntary manslaughter. So Jennifer Crumbley, the first parent of a school shooter to stand trial for involuntary manslaughter. Investigators say she and her husband bought the weapon for their son that was ultimately used in that shooting.
We didn't just hand him a gun as a here you go, son. It was something he could use when we went to the range as a family together.
Now, the husband, James Crumbley's trial expected to start next month. He's pleaded not guilty. Their son, Ethan Crumbley, was sentenced to life in prison without parole in December.
Punxsutawney Phil might not have seen his shadow today, but experts say this so-called early spring does not mean it's time for you to plant your gardens. Still, there are a few things that you could do right now to make sure your hard work pays off later.
There's a lot of dirty work that can be done right now, maybe redoing some beds and a little cleaning up, getting rid of what we know is dead. I know I'm going to have to protect some of these plants I'm putting out, but I want some color in the garden.
If you're in need of some firsthand knowledge and wisdom, sign up for a class or you can volunteer at places like the Botanical Garden of the Ozarks. Now we'll have another check of your forecast with Chief Meteorologist Darby Bivey back with us tonight.
All right, Darby, so the weekend kind of looks like a mess, but we bounce back pretty nicely next week, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's just got to get through 2 straight days in which all of us are off work and looking forward to get outside and enjoy the beautiful rain. Oh, well. Wah, wah. Yeah, that's the way it is, though. Today was beautiful, though. I mean, look at this. Fort Smith, 71. That was our first 70-degree plus high temperature of the year. It didn't break any records, but very warm. We also got to 70 and above for the first time in Fayetteville, 72 today. No record, but very warm. Places like Poto actually already saw 2 70-degree days earlier this week. But anyway, looking ahead tomorrow, 100% chance of rain tomorrow, right? We're going to get the rain. It's a very good chance of rain on Sunday. The heaviest rain is going to be tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning, and then there could be some more heavy bouts tomorrow night. Could even be some rumbles of thunder in there, but generally spottier and lighter on Sunday. Take a look here. In northwest Arkansas, very good chances of rain, heavy rain in the morning tomorrow. We kind of get a break late in the day into the evening, and then tomorrow night, more heavy rain, and then we get into Sunday morning and maybe a little bit of a break, but more showers as we get into Sunday afternoon. It's all out of here by Sunday night, and it's the same pattern in the River Valley. On Sunday, though, that's going to be lighter rain. It's going to be spottier, so a little bit different. It's a little bit cooler on Sunday, too. Out there right now, clouds are starting to increase, but we don't have any rain in the area. Temperatures right now still in the 50s and 60s. It feels pretty good. The rain trying to get closer, but you can see it is still pretty far off to the southwest of us. So it's going to take time, probably after midnight before most of this rain starts to come in here. It will be widespread by tomorrow morning, and you can see the weekend planner in the River Valley. Highs in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow, mainly mid 50s, low to mid 50s Sunday, so a little cooler Sunday. And with that rain tomorrow in the River Valley and in northwest Arkansas, it is going to be a windy day, okay, for our Saturday. And then, again, that rain kind of turned a little bit spotty or a little bit lighter as we get into Sunday, but also cools down. So, yeah, that's what we've got there for the weekend. But next week, big improvement, right back to where we just were, with beautiful sunshine, highs back in the 60s, and another system begins to come in, we think, on Thursday. It'll get a bit breezy with that one. Wednesday and downright windy Thursday with that rain, but don't think any severe weather. And folks, there is absolutely no potential whatsoever of any winter weather anytime soon. So no snow or ice. That's not going to be an issue. You know, maybe later in the month of February it could be, but definitely not anywhere close. So really pretty good weather, pretty good forecast. But we got to get through the weekend. And of course, we've got Frost Fest going on in Fayetteville. In Fort Smith, we've got the Polar Plunge going on at Creekmore Park. So hopefully you can still get out there to that if you were planning on going to the Polar Plunge. It is for such a good cause. Anyway, if you stay with us, we'll be back with Meredith Mulkey and sports coming up.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. The Razorbacks have already tamed the Tigers once this week, and now they'll try to do it again as the road trip continues down in Baton Rouge. Stop number 1 on this trip took the Hogs to Mizzou, where they had their best offensive outing since the start of league play. Arkansas would hold the lead for nearly all 40 minutes of this one. 4 guys scored in double digits, and 56 of their 91 points were in the paint, which is the most by the program in an SEC game in 10 years. So a lot of positive takeaways from this win, but now they've got to build on it.
So defensively, we got some things that we have to clean up before we go to Baton Rouge on Saturday for an early tip. But they competed. They had fun while they were out there. And just, again, I mean, when's the last time we've had 10 steals in a game this year? So 2 really good steps in the right direction. You want your basketball team to be improving. I thought the last 80 minutes we've improved as much as any 2 games that we've had this year.
So it'll be a Saturday matinee meeting in the Bayou. Tip-off with the Tigers is at 11. Now, as for the ladies, they're looking to bounce back on the hill after an uncharacteristic loss to Alabama last night. The Razorbacks played well in the first 10 minutes, but fell apart in the second quarter, where they would be outscored 23-6. So a lot to make up for in the second half, and the Hogs came back to life, cutting the Tide's lead down to 9 in the final few minutes. But it was just too little, too late. Arkansas dropped this one to Bama 86-70, a loss the team plans to quickly move on from.
You know, this loss hurts a little bit more because we did beat them the first time and we showed how good we are. And I think, you know, when you come home and lose to a team, it never feels good, but how we come back is going to be everything for us. And I think we've continued to bounce back every other game. And I think that'll just show if we can survive in this league. And I think we have everything it takes. We just have to be willing to have that fight. And it's going to be a little harder this time.
So the Hogs will wrap up their homestand on Sunday with the other team out of Alabama. Tip-off for that game is set for 5. And that's a check with sports, but we've got more news coming up after the break.
Well, we're still about 6 months away from the start of the 2024 Summer Olympics, but today athletes from all around Arkansas had a chance to compete in their own Olympics.
That's right. Special Olympics Arkansas hosted Winter Games today in Springdale. More than 400 athletes took part, among them a brother-sister duo who took on 48 other teams in a bracket-style tournament.
Justin's been part of Special Olympics for several years, and he's loved it, and it's brought him so much encouragement and empowerment.
It's special to me because I get to play with my sister. She's special to me, and she does a lot for me.
It's pretty cool. We get to travel and do things together, hang out and pick on each other more than probably we should.
It's a brother-sister relationship
Pretty
there
cute.
for you. When all was said and done, winners of each division were presented their hardware in true Olympic fashion, as you see here, receiving the gold, silver, and bronze medals.
So they were playing floorball and pickleball. Have you ever played either one of those?
I've never played floorball, but pickleball, yes.
Floorball kind of looks like hockey on a gym floor.
Yeah. But still, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They had a good crowd there, too.
Pretty cool. And the Summer Olympics will be here before we know it, too.
That's right. All right, everyone. Thanks for having us on your television.
Yes, we're in your living room
On
tonight.
Friday.
We'll actually be back at 10 o'clock on ABC. Hope
Thanks
you
for
tune in
having
then.
us over at your house.
Or on your smartphone.
Yeah.
You're watching 4029 News.